Girl, stop playing.
We are back for another episode of the Girl Stop Playing podcast. It's your favorite homegirl, Koereyelle, here to encourage you to stop playing with your potential and start working for what you want in life and in love. You already know that I believe you can make the money and you can get the honey. You can have it all as long as you are willing to work. And today we have one of my favorite working women in the building. She's everybody's homegirl. That means you got both of your favorite homegirls in the building.
These are facts.
Rashan Ali.
Hello.
Smith, we're going to put some respect on
Oh,
that Smith,
you did
baby.
the whole government.
The whole government. These husbands deserve some respect out
Well,
there
you
in the
know.
streets, okay?
They do. I mean, he knows what it is.
He know what it is.
But professionally known as
Thank
Rashan
you.
Ali.
Professionally known as
Get
Rashan
into
Ali.
it or don't do it.
Listen. So for all of my ATL aliens, y'all know this is an ATL classic right
Yes.
here in the building.
I would believe.
Been around, okay? But for those of y'all who don't know, she is a very proud, extremely proud HBCU grad.
I am.
We're not going to mention the HBCU.
Why? Why wouldn't we?
I be hating on y'all.
Why?
I be hating.
See, the hate comes because of the
greatness.
I mean,
It
these
does.
are
I ain't gonna
facts.
lie.
But
said
I
hater.
love Tennessee State.
Thank you.
My brother went to Tennessee State.
Okay.
I was actually going to Tennessee State. It's in my yearbook.
Really?
That says she'll be attending Tennessee State University. It's a major in speech pathology and theater.
And then what happened?
Well, my SAT scores flew up.
And you said, I'm not.
And
going
I
to
was
Tennessee State.
like, I got
Psych.
presidential money, and then I got a swimming scholarship, and I got a journalism scholarship to go to
And you
FAMU.
said,
And I was like, peace.
Peace out. Yeah, she
Yeah.
is a FAMU grad, y'all.
I am. It's so funny. The hate is so real.
It is, and I admit that it's. My husband went to FAMU, so I have this thing.
I don't understand.
I just have this thing. My kids are probably going to. I just have this thing.
Why?
I'm a hater.
It's
Y'all,
fine.
y'all are just.
We're the best.
Y'all are amazing.
We are great.
Y'all,
Thank
if
you.
that price tag wasn't what it was, I would have been down at the
fine,
I would have been down at the FAMU too. Okay, but she is HBCU grad, host of Cool Soror. She is my soror.
Yes.
She is a media personality, radio personality, TV, all of the media, multimedia personality, and a whole ass actress out here in these streets.
Yeah, these are facts.
These are the facts, and I'm so excited to get into it because the evolution is really real. We go way back. I know you remember this. I was going to say, I don't know if you remember, but I know you remember.
I remember.
Rashan hosted y'all back in my Single Wives Club days, okay?
remember this.
She came through, and now this is Rashan Ali. She's been Rashan Ali, okay?
Yeah.
And she came through humbly to host my little auction. We
Was it not little?
We was
It's
out
not
there
little.
auctioning. Thank you. Thank you for that. We was out there auctioning folks off, y'all. I was just trying to figure out.
At
like,
Frank Ski's.
At Frank Ski's. Shout out to Frank Ski. I was just trying to figure out the things. But having you here, always a pleasure, always an honor. And I'm just excited about the evolution. It's been
Thank
amazing
you.
to watch, and now we got to get the details.
Yeah, it's
But before we get into like
Sure.
this whole ass actress that you are, y'all look at her arms. Put the camera on her arms.
Oh, you mean
her back is banging as well, but we ain't gonna have her do a little spin in the chair. She
I was
what
looking
back?
at the.
What back?
Oh, I'm sorry.
baby?
I was looking at the
Listen,
plants.
Listen, I love it.
Did they get my clip? I got my little clip on.
They got
Okay,
the clip,
good.
but the clip don't even matter because the back is banging. But I want to take it back to like the beginning because you started your career. How? How did you start your career
Man.
in media?
So wow. I would probably have to say before Hot 1079, I started as Left Eye's personal assistant.
Yes, you did.
I was literally 22 years old and being the assistant to an entire superstar.
Yes.
Obviously, TLC was the hottest girl group of all time at the
Yes,
time.
they are.
And I didn't know what I was doing. You know, here I am having, graduated from FAMU. I wanted to go to film school. My mama said no. That's a story for another day.
No, we're gonna talk about that today.
That's too
That's on
right.
my list.
But it's nothing that we haven't discussed. So this is, and so I didn't know what I wanted to do. I almost fell. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I came back home, and a friend of mine knew someone who knew someone, and Ida Hall, she reached out to me, and she was like, she left a message for my parents because I was living back home with my parents, and then there was like a note on my bed when I got home from wherever I was coming from, and my dad was like, Ida Hall from Left Eye Productions, Left Eye needs a new assistant. I was like, what? She be burning up houses? I don't want to do that.
So this was post the house burning.
Oh, yes.
Because I wanted to know, how was you assisting with the house party?
Right.
But this was post.
But this was, this is what, I had seen in the media and all these things. I was like, oh, I would never do that. Like, how am I? But something told me to do it or to call and to follow up. Literally a week later, I was left as assistant. And it was one of the greatest experiences I ever had, just getting an entryway to that life and what it was like, and to see a major superstar and everything that they go through. It is.
I cannot imagine.
Listen, this was prior to social media and all of those things, but just seeing the toll that it takes on them, the leeches that are around them, how many people they have to take care of, the people that are there genuinely to be their friends, and then you see the ones that aren't there to support them, and then seeing a beautiful soul like Lisa who had to just deal with so much. I'm just forever indebted for that, to her, for that experience. God rest her soul. So that was my entryway into the entertainment space, and then eventually went on to LaFace Records, working the music video department. So I went from that to working with the Toni Braxtons and the Ushers and the Goody Mobs and the Outcasts and Pink.
ATL classic, baby.
Right, like when Pink was like an R&B artist, like she was still dating a black dude when I was working at the label. But I've had just an enormous amount of experiences in the entertainment space. Like whenever somebody does my True Hollywood story, it's going to be
a story.
It's going to be a story.
I'm always so impressed when people literally say, like, I started out as the intern, and then they're like,
yeah,
in lights, because the work that I know that you have to put in, and the thankless work that you have to put in. Being an assistant is probably one of the hardest things that you could possibly do, because there is no job description for that. It's like, whatever I need, you're it, or you gotta figure it out. Find it.
And here I am, a middle class girl, like, who has kind of, been given a lot of things. Came from FAMU, came from a, really good home, and like, how am I didn't know how to be no assistant. I didn't know what follow-up was.
Was it a humbling experience?
It was, but more so just like learning how to be responsible for someone else's life. I'm like, I'm 22. Like, how I'm gonna be knowing about what you got going on? I'm trying to figure out
what you got going on,
what I have going on. But it was. I wouldn't trade it for the world. She was, outside of my aunt and my dad, she was like the third person to tell me ever. She's like, Rashan, you're a superstar. She's like, I don't know what you're going to do, but you're like a superstar. And I just was, and I remember just like sitting in that moment, like, what does she see?
Something that you didn't even see in yourself.
Oh, yeah. I'm just starting to see what other people have seen.
You see it now.
Oh, honey, baby. I'm so walking in it. And I can say that in a way where it's not egotistical or narcissistic. It's because I put in the work, and I know that that confidence comes from a humble space.
And you've earned it.
And I have earned it.
It wasn't handed to you at all.
No, I've worked hard for everything that I have. And God's grace, obviously. But I have worked very hard for every single thing that I have been awarded.
So I can imagine your name has to be good in these streets for you to be able to do all of the things. Has that been a challenge for you, or has it been, because I mean, every time I see you are who you are. Like, it's thorough, in and out. You show up as Rashan Ali, as the home, you are,
right.
But has that been hard to maintain over the years and through the season?
Well, it's so funny. Two things. Rodney Perry, I took an improv class, because you never stop learning. So I took an improv class during the pandemic, and he was like, Rashan, people like you and me, because we are so very nice, we always we get the things later in life, but it's okay.
I'm not taking it.
Right, I'm not being shicey. But I will tell you this: when I was left as assistant, I remember exactly where I was. I was in a Walmart near in the Stonecrest area, because she used to live in that area, and I don't know what sparked my thought, or why God downloaded this to me at this moment in a Walmart. I told God that whenever there was time for me to have the platform, I would treat it like God intended for it to be treated. So when I go out, I'm always on. If I'm not on, I'm not out. So everybody that has an experience with me is always going to get the Rashan that I promised God I would be. And so I have very much stayed true to that. And I know that I have been able to change people's lives, give them a different perspective, have a pleasant experience with me, because I will never not make good on that promise to God.
I love it, and you telling the truth. She ain't just saying this. I mean, literally, I can't count how many times we've seen each other in passing. We've worked together. I've interviewed you, just all of the things. And when I say it's 100% the same experience every time, and not just you and I, but when I'm watching with other people, it's always.
Thank you.
I am like I gotta stop saying I'm an introvert, but I think I'm kind of like antisocial. And so for me to have to be on all the time is like an intimidating thought. Is it just like it's just naturally coming out of you? You're just showing up as yourself, or do you feel the pressure to be on?
No. I don't feel the pressure to be on. Like I said, if I don't mind saying no either. Like I have grown to say no.
That's
and
big.
Thank you so much for thinking of me, but at this time I can't, because again, I just can't allow myself to be in spaces where I know I can't be 100% who I am. I can't. And so when I'm not, I am in a fetal position at the house, drinking some champagne or watching one of my little ratchet shows or listening to some music or, burning some Palo Santo sticks or meditating or doing whatever it is that makes me feel good. I'm a Cancer, so I definitely go into my shell, and I have that time for myself. I make time for myself. So when I'm present and knowing that I have to be a light, not only for myself, but for others, because you never know who's watching you.
Facts.
Your journey has less to do with you and more to do with other people witnessing it, because you never know if someone's watching you, Koereyelle, do your thing and how you show up in the world. Some girl in Arkansas was like, yo, I saw how you responded to that. And because I saw how you did that, now I can do the same thing in my life. You just never know. And I've had so many stories of people just telling me, even last night, I was at the James Room. And somebody was like, I came up to the radio station at Hot 107.9 and you were mentoring somebody else. And I talked to my mom about how I really wanted you to mentor me. And she was like, just go up there and have a great experience. But you're the reason why I went to FAMU and majored in journalism. I'm like,
me? Okay.
Wow.
That's God.
That's one of hundreds of stories that I've gotten by me just showing up and being true to who I am. And the residual effect is that someone was able to take that positive experience or how I reacted or how I showed up and able to implement it into their lives.
I love it. I love it. So when you got into the space, obviously you kind of stumbled into it because you didn't go apply to be Left Eye's assistant. It just kind of came to you. Do you recall having like an ultimate goal of what, because when you had that conversation with God, when you said, when I get this platform, did you have in your mind what that platform would be? Or you're literally like, God, just use me?
Just use me. Because God has given me so many different talents, and I want to leave this world empty. So I wanted to write a children's book, wrote a children's book. I wanted to do sideline reporting, did sideline reporting. I want to be an anchor on CNN, was able to do that. I want to be a radio personality, did all of that. I want to act, doing that and continuing to ascend in that. Oh, I want to create shows, creating a show right now, an episodic, episodic drama, 10 episodes, doing that, have writers, all these things. When I leave here, I don't want anything left in me.
I love it.
Because God made me multi-talented. And if God placed it on your heart, how dare you not try? So anything that's there, I'm going to absolutely try to do it.
So amongst
So there was no goal. I'm just walking.
Goal. You're just doing it, enjoying it,
I'm
living
walking in alignment, the path of least resistance.
Yes.
And allowing those things. So there's a hustle and a flow. There's hustle and flow. And I believe you have to have the correct balance for all of it to come together when you literally allow things to flow in your life. But you have to be in alignment. You got to be right there in alignment. So now I'm starting to see the manifestation of the alignment just recently. And I'm like, I'm not surprised by anything that's coming into my life.
Come on.
At all.
Say it belongs here. I belong here.
Yes,
in
I do.
every room that he sends me into.
Absolutely.
So amongst your career, you got radio in your portfolio. You have television host in your portfolio, down at the circle.
Down to the circle.
In your portfolio. You have actress in your portfolio. Your podcast host. What have you enjoyed the most?
Oh my God, that's a great question. I enjoy all of them, but there's nothing like interviewing people. I have a true gift to interview people. That is, I've got a lot of gifts, but that's let me roll over and brush my teeth. It's time to interview somebody? People. All right, cool. That is what I do. That is who I am at the core of who I am. Radio comes naturally to me. It comes to me like breathing. I wish radio were the same. It's just not the same.
Now, yeah.
It's so completely different. And, of course, we have podcasts. Obviously, we're on a podcast. I have a podcast. But, like, I miss that real radio that I came into when radio personalities were literally the stars of the city. You know what I mean? And, like, it was just a great time. But I'm so glad that I got to experience that. So I would probably say radio and interviewing people is still
because
my foundation.
Were it when Atlanta was it. I mean, I feel like Atlanta's still it, but Atlanta was it.
That was like Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a difference.
What was it?
Atlanta.
That's you. That's you.
Like,
I can't imagine the life. I can't imagine the life.
It was just so yummy. Like, it was just so good. It was before all the pretentiousness and all of that, and welcome to the city. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. But prior to that, like, I wear old Atlanta sweatshirts. Shout out to my girl, Kristen. She has the brand ATL. I always shout her out because I just love what she. When I wear those sweatshirts, like, and I know people are like, well, what does that mean? Why are y'all doing that? I mean, we're progressing. Old Atlanta, there was a feeling that you just
there was a spirit in the city.
That is it. It was a spirit in the city. So.
And you were definitely part of that.
Oh, I would have to say, thank God.
Still very much so,
right.
But the old Atlanta.
And then I get the best of both worlds because I was born in Atlanta, raised in Decatur. So.
Yeah. In the dick. So I want to talk about this Tyler Perry, All the Queen's Men. Because what you doing out here on this TV, Rashan? What is you doing out here?
Miss Tandy. Let's take it.
Oh, not
Miss
Rashan.
Tandy. That's not
sorry.
Rashan.
I'm sorry. What is she doing on this television?
She's being what I think a lot of women are, but they would never be so bold to say it.
Say it.
She's very sexually free.
Is this reminiscent of Rashan?
No.
Or this is totally left?
This is completely a character that I'm playing.
She's like, no, this is not me at all. Is it a stretch? Is it like...
Oh, I mean, it's...
Is it like hard for you to pull it off?
I mean, it's... Okay, so there's... When you play a character like this, because it is, there are sex scenes and all of that.
They about to go pull it up right now.
The last 2 episodes of season, we have 10 episodes up now. The last 2 dropped today, actually, for the first half of season 2. When I auditioned for the role, my husband was my reader.
This is next on my list.
Yeah, my husband was. So I will help you out. My husband was my reader, and it was one of those when you're an actor, you get these auditions and on Actors Access, and your agent may send you the sides, and it's it's due at a certain time. So on the Actors Access, it said a certain time, and then my agent had another time. So I was like, I don't know when it's due. Let's just do it. So I ran the lines. And I had on my makeup was done because I think I had come from, I don't know, I was doing some event, and I was like, let me just run it. Run over a few times. I was like, cool, all right, let's get it in. I was like, and I said to myself, you know what, this will be the role I get because I was rushing and I was just literally, ding, I'm sitting on the couch. Genya, she's my agent. Shout out to Gill Talent, Patty Gill. And she's like, you got the role. I was like, what? She was like, but this role calls for nudity. And I'm like, wait a minute.
Hold up now.
So then I was like, okay, before I say yes, let me call my husband, who's a teacher and a coach. And I remember a long time ago, we were watching La La on Power. He was like, babe, tell me.
The infamous.
Yeah. He was like, whatever you do, babe, can you just never do sex scenes? I was like, okay. Until it happened.
Until the offer came in.
So I talked to him. I called him. I was like, got the role, but there's nudity. He was like, well, how much?
What's
like,
gonna
what
be
you going?
nude?
I was like, I don't know, but like, I know that they said I can, talk to the people and say what you're comfortable with and all that. So I think that in his mind, he's never watched the show. He's never watched any of the scenes.
Really?
And rightfully so. No, and I get it. I think that he didn't want to say no because he didn't know how successful the show could be.
And
And
he
it
didn't
is
want to stop
really,
you from,
yeah. So first season, got a little buzz, but when the second, it's really getting a lot of buzz and a lot. Like I'm getting I have a whole new set of fans now. Like the lady stopped me in the liquor store the other day. I was just trying to get some Tito's and some champagne, right? And she just almost tackled me.
Miss Tandy?
She's like, Miss Tandy. She was like, girl, I be doing the same thing.
No, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Not in these streets.
In these streets,
I am
I love it.
Rashan.
Yeah, so
Wow.
she's very a very free woman.
A very free woman. Are you
You ask all the questions.
are you so what did your husband say when you called him up on the phone? What did he say?
Yeah, that. He was like, oh, man.
Well, how naked do you gotta be?
Yeah.
And
And I didn't know that then. I didn't know that you had autonomy on what you can and what you want to show and what you did. This was all very new to me. This is my first big. I've had small roles. I've had some. I've been acting, but this was the first like Tyler. Like big show, like an episodic show where I have a recurring character. And so this was big for me. Excuse me. And so I didn't know that you could actually talk to people about it. So I love the movie industry because there's so many people behind the scenes that do so much, So there's intimacy coordinators.
tell us more.
Yeah. So they call you up on the phone first to do a preliminary chat. What are you comfortable with? And I was like, I don't want to show, I don't want to show full breast, and I don't want to show full bottom. I'm okay with side, and obviously all of us got here because for the most
Are they
part,
like cover? Is it like in my mind, these people are not really naked.
we're not naked.
Okay.
We're not naked.
Okay.
So there is like a piece of what you put in this area. It's almost like a big Band-Aid, like a
pasty?
pad, like a pad, and it's my color. And so it literally covers you from the top all the way to your buttocks and in between. So it's really what trans women use to tuck. Wow. Yeah. We
whole
use
thing.
that. Yeah. So once you put it on, you obviously can't use the restroom. You have to retape it up and all that kind of stuff. But you rehearse your scenes. You talk about what you're comfortable with. Are you comfortable with him kissing your neck? Are you comfortable with her, grabbing your head? Because there's a level of comfortability. We're all acting here. And you have to be able to, when you execute these scenes, because it is so intimate and people, this is a space where people share with the people they love or the people they're just doing it with. You know what I mean? So you have to have the conversation. And it's all rehearsed. And you talk about this is what Mr. Perry wants. This is what we suggest. How do you feel about this? And so you rehearse, you talk, and then you're like, what's up, dog? Hey, you want something from craft services? Literally, it's like that.
So are these, you said she's very free, so I'm imagining these sex scenes are not just with the same person.
No.
Wow.
No, they're not.
Wow. So you can't even it's not even like your husband on the show where you could get comfortable with him.
My husband likes to watch me with other people.
On the show.
Yeah.
Not your husband, because he ain't tuning in.
No.
So the first sex scene, the night when you go home, was that uncomfortable?
So the first sex scene that we did, we were in the bubble. We shot it in 2020. So the first season we shot.
Did not go home.
And I went back to my room on Actors Row. Not on Actors Row, but where Tyler had us. It was perfect. It was just perfect. It was just the bubble was the best thing that ever happened to our show. And I think because we had such a great camaraderie, all we had was each other.
Yeah.
Literally for 20 days, 25 days. And it was and I think that's why we are so very close as a cast. And it starts to really show, the cohesiveness starts to show clearly and vividly in season 2.
Okay, so where can they tune in? Because they got to see it now.
BET Plus. You download. You'll be able to see season 1 and season 2.
How do you feel about people just going to watch you like do naked stuff?
There's I get
You feel a little funny
weird
about it?
at times because I'm still very human, and
Yeah.
I've had a clean brand up until this point. Well, let me say this: my brand has been very clean, but I challenged myself to do this. It was very scary, and I've never done anything this scary in my life because it was completely opposite. I know people have their opinions. Lots of people had their opinions. Lots of people had their opinions in organizations and stuff. And so, right. And so, but this is my job. Y'all want to go ahead. You want to give me a check.
Okay. Maybe you can have an opinion, but if not.
These are facts.
Yeah.
This role has literally changed me, Rashan, because I had to. When I started getting, backlash, I've never had backlash. I've never had a lot of hate.
You everybody's homegirl.
Right. But this role is like
stepping out there.
Yeah. And it's completely opposite to who I've always been in my career. But it has changed me in so many ways. It has made me more confident as a woman. It has made me step into my light even more. And the response that I've gotten from the majority of people has been like, wow.
You did that shit.
These are facts.
I'm going to watch. I want to talk about how you have maintained a healthy, happy marriage. Because here on Girl Stop Playing, most women, let me just say, want more than just money, right? We could say we want to be bossed up all day long, but where's the bae? Where are these babies? And so I love being able to talk about how you've built your business, had this successful career, but then beyond that, like the real Rashan, like what you're going home to is so important because we don't live in a bubble. Like there's life outside of just work, just going to work and doing the thing. So what is like the secret? Tell us the secret.
Y'all
went to college together.
We did, but we didn't date until we were out of college. We kissed when we were freshmen. We kind of liked each other when we were freshmen. We were both student athletes, so he played football, I swam, and so a lot of our core classes were together. We had Mr. Sylvester Cohen in U.S. history, but we were just we always really cool. And I ended up dating other people, and he did the same. We got back together like after school.
Is he from here?
He was born in Maryland, but he spent most of his life here.
Okay.
Everybody has their own formula. I won't say what the secret is because what works for your relationship works for your relationship.
Well, give us some advice for the newlyweds like myself.
The reason why we've been married for 20 years is because I like my spouse.
Yes.
I like him. Love does this.
Ebbs and flows.
Liking your spouse has maintained.
I love it.
My ability to continue to partner with him. But this is life. You're going to change. We were 27 when we got married. We are 47 now. We are not the same people. And at times, you're going to be like this. But the beauty and the hope for most relationships is that you can come back together in alignment. But also, if you can't, being able to live a beautiful life, even being misaligned, if that makes sense, for a time. Whatever works for your marriage works for your marriage. You shouldn't judge anybody else's marriage. If he allows her to do certain things and she allows that's what works for them. This society has made us believe it's one way, and it's not one way. It is not one way. We just celebrated 20 years last Wednesday, August 3rd. We have 2 beautiful daughters who are 15 and 12.
Oh my God.
Yeah, man. 11th and 7th grade.
Am I 80? They're
No.
15 and 12? Jesus.
And I'm the smallest person in the house. Okay?
Wow.
One of them got a whole bunch of this. One of them got a whole bunch of this and that.
Wow. How are you handling this life?
I'm just trying to be the mom that is like, I can talk to my mama. Like, let me ask my mama this. So I'm just trying to stay present and cool. And then motherhood, again, I know, your baby's young. Like, motherhood is your version of motherhood. I am not a cookie mom or a crafty mom. I'm not a helicopter mom.
Yeah.
I am who I am and who I need to be. And I stopped judging myself a long time ago because both of my sisters-in-law are like, they
doing all the things.
They are the truth. And I used to be like, man,
Ain't doing that shit.
Nothing like that.
But you do what works for your
I
family.
do what works for my daughters and what works for me. And I surround them with their godmothers and their beautiful aunties that do that.
Balance.
They absolutely have a balance. But I'm more of a hands-off type of mom. You know, I'm going to take care of my children, but I'm not hovering over them. No, I want them to be very independent.
This is something that I learned. I feel like my child was probably like a month old. And all of the things, all that shit I talked about, what I was going to do and what I was going to do, baby.
Out the window.
I just decided I'm not judging any.
You can't.
First of all, I'm not judging any of the people who are doing the things, but I'm not judging myself for doing any of the things that I said I wasn't going to do, because you don't know nothing until it's happening.
You don't.
You don't. And you can't prepare for it. It's not a class you can take. It's not it's not advice you can get. It's literally you figuring it out day by day. And I think so many people are unhappy because we're trying to live up to this thing when there is no thing to live up to. You're creating the thing.
You're creating the thing. And I think most importantly, especially for moms, I was able to breastfeed for 6 months and then 7 months with my second child. And I talked to mom. I was like, oh, are you able to breastfeed? She's like, no, I couldn't do it. I'm so sorry. No, baby. If you couldn't do it and that formula is working for that child, that is totally fine.
Do what works for you.
Do what works for you.
Because if I could get my baby off my breast right now at 17 months, I would love. He won't.
You still nursing. That's that good milk.
I be telling people I quit cold turkey on his first birthday. He ain't quit cold turkey yet.
He be like, hey, mom, let me get that.
Get it up in my shirt. He won't get out of there. I love it. Send help.
He's healthy as hell.
Send help. He is, but get out of here. But I love that you are just all the way around, 360, full. Your whole life, you are doing your thing and doing it authentically, unapologetically. That's goals.
Thank you.
That is definitely goals. So I want to talk about your podcast.
Yeah.
Cool Soror. When am I coming?
Oh, you need to come for the next season.
I was just shooting my shot.
She's already been on, but she was on when it was like.
This is a new day. This the new thing. Do you feel like podcasting? Because every time I look up, like Tiana Taylor, I just saw yesterday, she has a podcast. Like everybody is, and I feel like that's a great thing because obviously we're in the right space, right?
Right.
Do you feel like podcasting is like the future of media? Like, do you feel like radio and obviously you're on television, so I know you don't feel like television is going away. But for people who have these aspirations of being a radio personality or being on television, do you feel like podcasting is kind of going to be the new wave?
Well, it's been the wave. I started my podcast in 2016, and white men have been dominating the space for years, and they're multimillionaires. Like I was listening to Lewis Howes back in the day, and Tim Ferriss, like all of these guys I've been listening to for a long time. So I'm just hoping that we can continue to build out this space and really make a living for ourselves via podcasting, and the opportunities are open for especially Black women to have advertising and all of that. So things are, coming along for the Cool Store podcast. I'm really excited. I have a big announcement coming up soon about I'm doing it's coming up soon.
How soon? You can't tell us? Give us a clue. We like to have exclusives.
So I'll be doing, I'm going to go on tour.
Okay, tour.
To do some things, but we're announcing it soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it, though, because you know what happened? I got off my ass, and I stopped waiting on people to believe in the Cool Store podcast, and I invested in myself. I shot those 8 episodes. I had a production budget that was mine, out my pocket. And I know when people look at the podcast like, oh my God, it looks amazing. I know she's already on. No, I paid for every single thing down to the flowers on set. But when you believe in yourself and you take that step to just do it, I'm so glad I did that, because that opportunity literally catapulted into so much more because I took a chance on myself. So the money that I spent and the money I'm about to get, it doesn't even match up. It doesn't even match up. But I was like, I'm going to make this investment and do it and not be regular about it. Not just, let me call this person, get on Skype or Zoom. And no disrespect to anybody else, but I had done that. What are you going to do differently?
Right.
So I did things differently, and it paid off.
And I think that is where a lot of people miss out, is that they want somebody to come along and pay for the thing. But it's like sometimes Issa Rae, I can't wait to have you on the show because I feel like Issa is just.
She's everything.
She's everything. But what she did that I am so inspired by is she put her soul into that YouTube.
Sure did.
To the point where HBO said, I want to take what you've created and just blow it up.
Right.
Just put it on our platform. And that to me is goals. It's not somebody just hiring me to do whatever they want me to do to fit into their box. It's like, no, you bring your box.
Yeah.
And we just gonna put it up
and
on the
she
platform.
had to fight, though. She had to fight to keep
To keep her box? To keep it?
Yes, to keep the authenticity of what we saw on YouTube to translate over. And I think a couple of, like, she was on a team first, and then she and don't if I'm wrong, y'all correct me. But I think
wrong, Issa, come tell us if she's wrong.
Right? Yeah, come tell us. But I think that she was on a team first that wanted to work with her, and then they just didn't align, and then she fought to keep that awkward black girl authenticity with Insecure, and she fought for that. And I'm so glad that she stood her ground to make sure that she kept her story.
Well, then I'm even more inspired.
Oh,
because how many of us just take the first deal we get?
A lot.
Like, how many of us are willing to just sell our soul just to get on somebody else's platform?
Get on? So many people have asked me to be a part of their podcast network, and I'm trying to figure out how that works and all of that. And I'm just like,
wait, you turned it down to podcast networks? Tell me why.
I don't know how, I'm just trying. I just feel like when the time is right, the answers will come. The right answers will come. I'm not doing anything prematurely.
You're not just jumping out here because you don't have to.
No, I will continue to do what I need to do for the podcast until it is truly time. I'm like, now that's the deal. I'm not doing anything prematurely.
Come on. Okay, last
thing.
Had to grow to that,
Kodo. I had to grow to that.
How did you get to that point where you're not just going to take what you can get? Is it because you've had such... Okay. You've been through the things, though.
All of them.
Tell us something bad.
When I was pregnant with Bailey, my 15-year-old, I was the host of the ATL morning show. And when I went on maternity leave, Empress Cersei came down to host the morning show with Griff. And so he was like the lead. Griff was always really spectacular, but he was like the comedian of the show, and did sports and everything like that. So when I got back, it was time for me to come back. First of all, I got a call from somebody asking me if I would come back earlier off of maternity leave, which was illegal. And they called me back and they were like, please disregard that. Exactly. And so when I got back, Empress Cersei was still like kind of there. And I was like, okay, you can go on back.
He in my seat.
He in my seat. And I was like, this is weird. Why is he not going back to his show? So we had a meeting after the show one day. And I've talked about this publicly, so I'm not throwing anybody under the bus or anything like that. So Jerry Smoking B was our program director at Hot at the time. And he took us out to lunch. And he was like, took us out to breakfast. He was like, Empress Cersei is going to be leading all the breaks now. And, that's just what it is. And I said, we would not be having this conversation if I had a penis. And he had no rebuttal. So I talked to my uncle, who is a retired labor attorney here in Atlanta. And I was like, do I have a pregnancy discrimination case? He was like, absolutely you do. But do you want that to follow you your entire career? Especially at a big station, a big company like Radio 1. And I decided not to. So I had to sit there for over a year and watch somebody else lead my show. You talk about being humbled and like why is this and I love Empress Cersei, but he's not more talented than me.
How is that when you don't have a problem with him and he didn't make the decision?
And he didn't want to be there.
How was that?
That was terrible for him because he's such a great individual. He's a great human being.
Was you mad at him?
It wasn't him. He was mad at the situation. He was so kind and so just
I would have had an attitude. Did you have an attitude?
No, I didn't. That's not Rashan. I sat there and let it and allowed it to happen, and I just said, it's going to come back to me. And it did. When Steve Hegwood became the program director, he immediately changed it back. And I got my rightful place back. But it took time.
Patience.
But that was very hurtful. That was very, very tough, especially as a woman, in radio.
You put your time in.
I had done the work. I had done the work.
Okay, well, we can't end on a bad note.
No, absolutely.
So I do have one more question,
grew me.
and it's not a good. It might be bad too, but I want to go back to your mama. Because we've had this conversation before, and I feel like it's a common look. People be talking about daddy issues, and I'm not saying you got mama issues, but these mamas be out here doing some things, right? They be doing some things. So I knew, what you had mentioned, that you wanted to go to
American. I got accepted to American University,
and your mother said
no for no reason.
For no reason.
I still don't know.
This is like I always say, in the black community, because I don't really know other communities, so I just am thinking that this is like a black thing. So having that been your experience, and obviously it's worked out for you, right? You love family. Yeah. Everything worked out the way it was supposed to.
This was after I was trying to go to grad school there.
Wait, she told you no to grad school?
Grad school. And I had both me and my brother got scholarships to undergrad. And my parents had money. I don't know what happened. And I wasn't one of those kids that fought. Like when your parents said no, I was like, okay.
Oh, you better than me. You all the way around better than me, Rashan. I would have raised hell. I would have been off.
Not raised.
I'm out of here. Okay. Well, no, but having been through that and being a mother now yourself, what is your mothering philosophy? Because I feel like from the outside looking in, what I would think is that you would give your children more freedom to be able to make their decisions.
They are so
But then
free.
today somebody asked me, well, what are you going to try to make your baby go to TSU? And I'm like, no, he can go to any HBCU he wants to, but he can go to any HBCU he wants to. Outside of that, boy, you're going to have to figure it out. Right. So I still feel like that might be a little wrong of me.
No, I mean, you might change once he grows up and you start seeing his different, the things that he likes. Of course, you're going to, my husband and I both, look at your face, promote.
Baby,
HBCU.
try to go to a PWI if you want to.
Right.
Who
it's
gonna move you
like
in? It's nothing like it.
Nothing like
so
it.
do you have those things where you still kind of want to influence them, but you give them their freedom, or you just like, y'all gonna figure this out?
Oh man, I think I have a really healthy balance. Whatever they want to do. I was telling them in the car yesterday about, because they bathroom be looking crazy, right? And I'm like, y'all don't want to be the nasty girl in the dorm room. You understand that? You know what I'm saying? He's like, such as, and I gave examples. Oh, Bailey's so cute, but she nasty. I'm like, you don't want to be that girl. So I talk to them real. I talk to them open. But I also, whatever it is that they want to do, I was alluding to the fact that
being nasty,
right? I was alluding to the fact, and I told them in the car, I was like, 90% of the things that you all ask us, we allow you to do. So me asking you to keep your room clean and keep your bathroom clean, that's a no-brainer. I'm saying all that to say, my daughter Bailey has been to Belize. Okay, she's in a program called Girls Going Global. Mm-hmm. She's been to Canada. They've both been to. We went to Mexico. What's the Cabo? Mm-hmm. They are. We say yes to so much, and I think because of that experience, I don't want them to ever be like, "Well, my mama said." Mm-hmm. At 47, still talking about it in an interview. You know what I mean?
Deep.
It is very deep because you just don't know
what could have been.
What could have been, because sometimes as parents we place our own fears on our children, and they have to continue to be able to walk their walk. We can only do so much. They still become their own people, and once you understand that, and as scary as this thought is, they're not ours.
No,
we were the vessel. No, we were the vessel. They are God's children. We have to understand that.
I haven't evolved to that
That's
yet.
fine. He's still
I'm
a baby.
only 17 months in. Yeah. He's mine.
Yeah.
He's mine in my head.
You're going to get that 10, 15. You're going to be like, no. Put your ass up and put your cleats up, boy. Sorry.
That's what I would be doing.
Yes, you're going to do that. You got to just, this is me, and this is my form of mothering. So yes, although me and my mother are very close to this day, that still is
a thing.
A point of contention. Yeah.
Rashan Ali, y'all.
Is it over? When do we leave?
You want to keep talking? Go ahead. What else you want to say?
I mean, no, I just like to talk.
Freestyle.
I like being interviewed.
Freestyle.
Because I always get to interview. I have to interview.
What else you want to tell us?
I think I've told everything.
You can tell us something else.
I think I've said everything.
What did you and your husband do to celebrate your 20 years? I mean, I could get into business.
We went out to dinner. We went to one of our favorite restaurants. We're still going to take a trip later.
Do y'all still date?
all the time.
See, that's part of the secret. That's
It
part of the
is.
recipe.
We'll go out to a restaurant in a minute because I'm not a shoe girl or a bag girl or.
You're an experienced girl.
I am. Give me some fine dining. Let me get a bottle of Vive Cliquot, please.
You should not be in those people restaurant acting like that, Rashan.
No, not like that. I have a great experience. I love to have a great experience with an amazing server. I make sure you feel comfortable when you come to the table. I say your name and tell me, what is your favorite thing? I'm like, I would like a great piece of fish with some vegetables. Would you recommend the trout or would you recommend the Arctic char? Which one?
I love it.
I like that. I like experiences. And so I've like grown my husband into that as well. He wasn't like a go out type of guy when we first got together, but baby, now he'd be like, let me have the ribeye medium plus, darling.
Good night.
Yes.
How is it balancing? Because you say he's a coach and a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You are Rashan Ali, naming lights. How is the balance?
Ooh, honey, let me tell you something. In the very beginning, before we even had children, I was just Hot 107.9. I would say yes to everything. I was at this school, doing all these things, out of the club, doing all it. And he told me, I remember, he was like, you give the whole world Rashan Ali, and I can't get a piece of Rashan when you come in this house.
Woo! Husband, turn it off. Turn it off. That
And I
killed
was
you.
like, wow.
Did it make you sad or mad?
It gave me much more perspective of how do I balance this thing moving forward. We got a good balance now. I say no.
Is that the key? Is that the key? Like having boundaries and just saying, not saying yes to everything?
That is definitely the thing that I would say that I started doing and realizing that I can't take none of this with me. When I'm dead and I can't come home and, have a great time with my husband or chill out and watch a game and have something to drink or do what we do, right? And because I've given everything to everybody else, that ain't right. That ain't fair.
That is such a hard... I heard like Layla Ali once say, about her dad, like to the world, he was this great man, but they did not get that. And that to me is just like, what is the point of working so hard if the people who truly matter the most don't even get that?
And so I have to check in with myself too, especially with my girls. I have a girls serving organization, and we're not as active as we used to be, but sporty girls, yeah. But I would give a lot to other people's children. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And thinking that, my girls, they
gonna fall in line. But yeah, no.
No, and then you look up and you're like, dang, I done gave everything to all these people kids. I can't even get my kids to do half the stuff I got the sporty girls to do. So it's all very like, you figure this thing out as you go, man.
How do you not beat yourself up about these things?
I do.
Oh.
I have moments. I cry.
Really?
Like, yeah.
You're a cancer. So
I'm a cancer. I'm a cancer in all the, if you want,
all the way.
If you want the epitome of a cancer, here I am. I'm all the things. So yeah, I have to constantly I love my therapist.
Come on, therapist.
I meditate. I take walks. I like nature. I drink champagne. I work out.
Yes, you do.
What
is this? You was doing a competition.
3 of them in a row. Dumb.
What was that? What was that like? Something you've always wanted to do?
I always wanted to do.
Just stretching myself. I'm giving myself this.
So I've always been an athlete, and I wanted to see how I could take
you could take this thing.
Yeah, and I always wanted to do one, but I was like, I just can't give up wine for that long.
Did you?
I did.
How
as soon
long
as I
was
gave
it?
up wine, like 12 pounds, I dropped 12 pounds instantly. It's a whole bunch of sugar. So now I just, tequila and vodka. There's no carbs in those.
You know what? She's like,
if you drink it straight, you're all good.
Figured it out. Wow.
Yeah, but when you're training, you're not supposed to do any of that. But it gave me the transferable skills from that level of discipline, from the eating to the working out to all of that. I wouldn't trade it, but that last show, I started to become, I was a little different. And I had to check myself. I'm like, sis, first of all, you're not getting paid to do any of this. Okay, let's reel it back on in.
Bring it back in.
Okay, you're 47. You're not going to have a butt. Like, I have a swimmer's ass. So my glutes are going to take years to do that. And I don't take, a lot of women take a lot of drugs and all that kind of stuff. In certain federations, you're allowed to take steroids and that type. I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. I take 5 milligrams of creatine during a creatine cycle to build, and I love when I'm on creatine. I'd be cut.
What are you right now? Just cut.
This is regular, and I feel, to me, because I've just been enjoying my summer. Like I'm just now. Let me get myself back together, because I got to go back on set too in a month.
Do she not look together to y'all?
Thanks.
I mean, what is she talking about?
This camera right here making me look real thick, though.
I'm glad my little arm is this way, away from the camera, because baby.
Thank you. But I enjoy doing it.
I love it. I love the evolution and the transparency and it's not all perfect, but I'm figuring it out.
It's not. I am not. I'm far from it.
So what is next besides getting naked? That seems like the top of, I'm just saying, that's like, what comes next after that? How do you stretch yourself beyond that?
I want to create, and I want to find the next superstars. I want to do that because I've always wanted to direct. We got to go back to my core. I wanted to go to film school because I wanted to be a director.
See? Tell your mama, look, mama, I'm still doing it. I still got around to it. I love that.
So I'm actually creating a whole drama.
I love that.
And I'm the creator. I have our writing team is amazing. And I see myself literally on set with some coffee in my hand. And I'm like looking at the monitors and, seeing the actors that we chose from the casting really playing out these roles and say, wow, look at her. Because I listen to Tyler a lot, and, people can say what they want and have, people have had their own experiences or whatever. And I made sure when I went into being a part of his team that I went in with a blank canvas. Mm-hmm. And because I do that with everybody, I never let anybody tell me anything about anybody. Mm-hmm. So I walk in and what I have seen and what he has said so many times is, I want to make superstars. I want to make millionaires. I want to change lives for the unknown. He's done that for me. He's done that for me personally. Mm-hmm. I was on one episode of... this is a different level for me. Right. I got some. So I was on one episode of... And this, after Sister Circle got canceled, I filled in for Ryan when he got sick, and then I got this role on Sisters. We went into the bubble, and then I auditioned for another Tyler Perry show, and then I got that role. So when I tell you my life has changed, forever grateful.
I think we got to drop the mic on that, Rashan. I mean, seriously.
Forever grateful, man. Forever grateful.
You a Cancer. You about to cry right now.
Because I don't take none of this for granted.
I
don't take any of it for granted. I wake up, the first thing I say is thank you for another opportunity.
And that's why they keep coming, though. That is why they keep coming. And they're seamless. They're seamless.
Because the alignment is there. The alignment is there.
Mrs. Rashan Ali, y'all. Isn't she amazing? Give him a little... Come on now. I love you.
I love you.
I am so appreciative that you came on down. She's a big star now, y'all. But
we all are stars in our sphere of influence. That's what I say all the time. Whether you are a janitor at a local elementary school or in the C-suite, you change lives by how you show up. And that makes everyone a star.
I have nothing else. I have nothing left to say, guys. I mean... That is it.
It's so true.
She funny, she inspirational, she philosophical. You got it all. You got it all. And that's why you're everybody's homegirl.
That's why. Thank you. Fantastic interview. I'm proud of you, my sister.
You. Remember me. Wink, wink.
Always remember you.
Y'all, I'm going to be down at the wherever Rashad going to be. I'm going to be there, y'all. I'm going to be right there. Okay?
Come on.
I'll be right there.
Girl, stop playing.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Another bomb-ass episode. Go download BET Plus so we can see Rashad naked, y'all. Girl, hey, I hope you enjoyed that video. This channel is all about encouraging you to stop playing with your potential and start working for what you want in life and in love. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you'll be notified when the next video drops. And comment below and let me know what you want to see on the next video. Peace out.